Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. As we left off in the last episode, our position is fragile. It's vulnerable to attack from the socialists, aka from the anarchists, as well as from the mafia. We need to capitalize, however, on the rivalry between these two groups so that we can successfully take it over. The anarchists, meanwhile, are complaining about our activity in the Udalsova precinct. Well, they've got big mouths, but they certainly don't have the necessary big balls to defeat us. We are the bravest movement in all of Pugachev. We are the most determined movement in all of Novi Strana. The NPRM is ready for a long and protracted campaign against all who oppose us. Whatever their background, whatever their means. We won't yield an inch of ground, but by God, I hope that the other side does, if they know what's good for them. I'd love to find some members of these groups for me to undermine, because I could easily get Churnyev and some of his squad buddies to beat the crap out of anybody who I want to see dealt with. We're coming under attack in Laika Common. We've basically been thrown out of the place. This isn't good. We're also losing Vezmin town, and we're going to desperately launch an attack to retake Soloviev estate and the Yesesin precinct. I'm honestly using military language right now for the sheer fact that we are engaging in what is effectively a war against our rivals. And the Red Mafia begins its battle against us in the center. We'll take them out. We will crush them. We will prevail, because there is no other option but to prevail. They can attack us wherever they want, but they will not triumph. Oleg Baturin has gained yet another level. So perhaps we could get him to do some public criticism, but we don't have the necessary influence points to sustain that on a regular basis. So instead we'll strengthen his status and his charisma, and improve his charity work, because that's something that we can actually afford to conduct. Now our situation is tenuous at best, and we need to act decisively if we want to hold on to our ground. Now we're going to continue our investigation of Pugachev Central. Hopefully we can get a contact of ours in the city hall, because otherwise I fear for the future of this movement. Meanwhile, the Red Mafia has launched a crime wave, which we can take advantage of in our campaign. We're going to march on the Udalsova precinct, launching a poster campaign and taking the fight against the anarchists and the cartel. For the most part, however, we've managed to remain relatively at peace with the Constantino cartel, since we have contacts dating back to our days in Ekaterine. Now, Mr. Andrei Alastov of the organized anarchists is threatening us. What this little son of a bitch doesn't know is that we are going to win. We are going to triumph and to prevail over his gang of chaos mongers. We are going to overcome them, and we are going to defeat them. It's only a matter of time. Now, we'll soon be able to launch enhanced revelations based on the criminal activities of the Red Mafia, which we are more than conscious of. We'd be able to launch them earlier if it wasn't for my decision to go and investigate the town center. However, hopefully, it is a decision that will pay off. In the meantime, we can organize some charity work in this area of Vesnin town in the Laika Common. We're down to 0 influence points, which is exactly how I like it. Not. And our influence point gain is pretty much fucked. We have no control over Pugachev Central, and we have practically no control over the Udalsova precinct or Ratushinskaya fields or anywhere except the Soloviev estate. Now I just discovered a new feature which shows this balance between attributes. So brains triumphs over wealth, brawn triumphs over brains, and wealth triumphs over brawn. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. But what's more important for me right now is learning how to actually make our way out of this quagmire in which we are caught. We've diminished the influence of the anarchists. We've also begun our campaign against the Red Mafia. And now we have an open ground for us to conduct some more charity work to take over the Ratushinskaya Fields area. We're also beginning our brave foray into the Udalsova precinct. And I believe that we should be able to use this to conduct a fierce attack against the Red Mafia in their very own heartland, in the Alexandrovsk Industrial Estate. Or the Alexandrovsk Industrial Park. Now we're going to push for solidarity, for a more communism-oriented message, because I believe that the communist era was probably a better time for the people of Novi Strana. I'm wondering though, since I don't know enough about this area's historical background. I don't know if there's any ethnic tension, I don't know if there's any resources that the foreign countries might be interested in. All I know is that it is in our interest to appeal to whatever the people want. And we've got to promise them things, but we've also got to deliver them. We can promise them the moon, but it won't be worth a thing if we can't actually deliver. We need to capitalize on the popular desires and thus to strengthen our position as the dominant socio-political revolutionary movement. Now we've come across Gennady Ermalov, a parliamentarian who's also part of the organized anarchy movement. Now this sorry excuse for a man is conducting activities against us in the Udalsova precinct. And, to put it simply, I don't like that. Unfortunately, however, we can't launch an assault against any people who are part of a faction. Which is just kind of dumb. I was hoping to find a way to conduct attacks against enemies of our movement. Now the Red Mafia is continuing to take over companies, thus establishing itself as a leader of business, of commerce, and so on. But we can't allow this to continue. We've got to take resolute and decisive action. Wherever and whenever we can. Now I wonder, what else can I do to strengthen my position? We're already attacking the Red Mafia on every single front. We're already conducting our daring offensives into their domain. But what we aren't doing is actually defeating them. We haven't managed to push back the Mafia or the anarchists sufficiently. If anything, we've failed quite miserably in this regard. But now as the morning of day 70 arrives, we can see the statistics. We are continuing to fall behind. We have lost another 9 points, while the Red Mafia is pushing forwards. This is unacceptable. I will not allow this to continue. We are stagnating, and we are suffering. Our greatest achievement so far is the fact that we haven't been kicked out of town. This can't be good. And it is not good. We've got to fight back with all that we've got. We need to strike back against the Mafia, against the cartel, against everybody. If we want to be in with a chance of getting anything at all done. Now I am going to hold a rally in the town center. Unfortunately, my voice is too hoarse in real life for me to narrate this rally and this speech. But I'll try my best to show the general gist of things. Now I think I'll strengthen the army draft action. We'll add to the charisma, we'll add to the presence and to the status of Mr. Churnier. We can't allow ourselves to be outdone by the enemies. We need to make a show of our patriotism. We need to express it to the entire country. Also, I've got no idea why I scheduled that poster campaign for Pugachev Fields, when it should have been conducted in the town center. We're establishing ourselves anyhow. We're strengthening ourselves, we're establishing our movement, and we're going to gain supremacy. That's not a problem. The problem is getting our way to that supremacy. It might take a few episodes, and I will apologize in advance if they prove to be boring. However, I would thank you all immensely if you continue to follow me on the journey. Now, a lot of news just arrived. We're under attack from all sides. But fortunately for us, the Mafia and the Anarchists are fighting one another. They're attacking themselves, rather than us. This despite the fact that we're a greater threat to them than anybody else. Now we need to launch an attack against the Anarchists. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retake Laika Common from their claws. And I'm also going to retake Vesnin town. I'm honestly getting quite desperate. We're losing control of the situation, and by losing control I mean that I've realized we didn't have control from the beginning. We're under attack on all sides, and we're starting to falter on all sides. And this is something that I can't permit. Not today, and not on any other day. It's a crisis. It really is. And I'm not a fan of crises. We're regaining our control in certain areas, but it's not enough. We need to continue our advance, to strengthen our movement, to achieve supremacy. We hit the Mafia hard at our raid into Alexandrovsk Industrial Park, but it didn't help us as much as I wanted it to. We need to continue to consolidate our strength. We need to fight back, without end, not relenting one bit. Now we're going to launch this poster campaign in which we shall appeal to the proletariat of these industrial estates. Now our movement is growing sufficiently for us to afford mobile phones. This is quite good. I wonder whether we can actually use them for much. So we organized to take down a poster of the Anarchists. we're going to ever so slowly replace it with one of our own. Or perhaps even more, because there's a legion of posters from the cartel. So we'll go for solidarity, as that's what the people want. It's a working class neighborhood, and so that's what we're going to push for. And in the meantime, we are going to continue our assault against the anarchists. We're going to drive them out of Viznin town. We're going to re-establish ourselves in the north of Pugachev. Ratoshinskaya Fields was too vulnerable a location for the NPRM. And so, we're going to ever so slowly, or perhaps quite quickly, pull out. Pushkin Park and Makevich Court might have been better options, since there's two influence districts right next to each other. But it's too late now. We've got to make do with all that we've got. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we'll continue to do. We'll also continue to draft the locals in the town center. We need to consolidate our hold if we want to be in with a chance of victory. But regardless, we've made significant progress in this episode through our assaults against the anarchists and against the mafia. Hopefully, we'll be able to consolidate our gains and to hold them. We'll see that in the next episode. If you're enjoying the series, do not forget to leave a like and a comment and to subscribe to my channel to be in with the chance of receiving your very own NPRM membership card through the post. All you'd have to do is share all of your credit card details. Anyways, terms and conditions might vary, but we're going to leave that aside. I have been the Nerd Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for today. I'll see you all in the very next episode of Republic the Revolution.